Hey y'all, so I'm just good to be back. I missed y'all last week. We had a quick opportunity to take a couple of days with our family and we did it and it was wonderful, and now we have to get back into it. So seasons, that's where we ended week before last, talking about we may not know when our season is, we might not know when that appointed time is, but we know that God's got it on his calendar and that our seasons are all at different times. We are not all in harvest season at the same time. I think one reason that the Lord does that is so that there's consistent harvest all the time, that it's not everything coming in at once and then nothing. And so if we are in staggered seasons, there's harvest all the time. And we do need seasons of rest and restoration in preparation for the growing season and the harvesting. I'll get there in a minute. Get my words right. We know that he's got it on his calendar, whatever it might be, whatever the word, the promise, the harvest, the season that you are looking for and waiting for. We might not know when that season is, but God has got it on his calendar. And Genesis 8:22 says, as long as the earth remains, there will be seed time and harvest. I want to look back. I'm pretty sure it's in Exodus. I wrote it down. I underlined them in my Bible. Things that are important to me when I'm reading is that God cares about those definite moments. And you remember we talked about the flight plans and how God's got it all organized and everything laid out. And things have to happen at the appropriate time, which is what Isaiah 60:22 says. Let's go there. Isaiah 60:22 says, oh, that's not it. That's absolutely what I wrote in my Bible. It says, the scripture is, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. And I'm going to have to come back at you with that reference because I'm looking at, I had to check my reference, Isaiah 60:22, and that is not it. I'm going to find it. It's just not Isaiah 60:22. We'll get to that one tomorrow. I don't want to waste any more time today. But in Exodus, when it is time for the Israelites to walk free from Egypt, and they have been in captivity actually for 430 years, and God sent plague after plague for Pharaoh to let my people go, every time, thinking, okay, this is it, and it was never it just wasn't. But on the day that it was supposed to be, Exodus 12:29 says, at midnight the Lord slew every firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sat on his throne to the firstborn of the prisoner in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the livestock. And it says, at the end of 430 years, even that very day, all the hosts of the Lord went out of Egypt. At the end of the 430 years, even that day. So when the time came, God made it happen. And actually the reference in my Bible says Genesis 15:13 and 14. And God said to Abraham, now this is Abram at that time, hundreds of years prior. In Genesis 15:13, God said to Abram, "Know positively that your descendants will be strangers, dwelling as temporary residents in a land that is not theirs," which of course is Egypt, "and they will be slaves there and will be afflicted for 400 years. But I will bring judgment on that nation whom they will serve, and afterward they will come out with great possessions." So see, God told Abram, these are things that are going to happen, but they're going to come out. And when the time was right, the Lord made it happen. And I'm going to find that verse and we'll open with that tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.